It has now.
All
Okay.
right, good. Okay, so a call order, confirmation of proper notice.
Notice was posted according to statutory requirements. Yes, sir.
Okay, roll call. Tom Pensick,
Okay.
Susan Wolf.
Nancy Baker.
Marv Howard. John West.
Barbara Carey.
And we have George on Zoom, so we have a quorum.
Mhm. Okay, perfect. Okay, approval minutes, September 23.
11.
Yeah, September 11th, yeah. Any questions or issues?
Motion to accept.
Uh,
I motion to accept. Right.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, perfect. Okay, okay, and the next item is to finally discuss proposed operating budget draft. Okay. There may be a mitigating circumstance, John. You want to explain about the meeting on Thursday?
As most know, there will be a meeting with the insurance agent on Thursday. A special board meeting that has been posted to discuss the possibility of lowering limits on wind insurance only. And obviously, everybody should attend that can. Number one. Number two, as you know, built into this current budget we're considering is, as we've been basically told, a minimum of 100% increase we have to look at if we value at 92 million. If we value somewhat less than 92 million, obviously things change. And just for the thought process, if we went to 75% instead of 100% increase insurance, it would save the owners about $550 a year. So we could there could be some dramatic impact should we lower that limit to where it comes into close or 50% of last year. We could be looking at $1,000 savings to owners. So it's appreciable. Whether we can do it, whether we want to take the hedge on it, I don't know. That'll be a discussion when we do it. What happens is that the insurance company has run models and said that a 250-year storm with our community spread out the way it is, not being a single building, the most that we probably could experience in damage is $6 million. And of course, we're insuring for 92 million. They said a 500-year storm would be about 8.9 million. And if we had a 1,000-year storm, it would be about 11.1 million worth of damage maximum. So there may be some real hard thinking ahead of us as to what we want to do. Because the interesting thing is I think Tom pointed this out earlier this morning, we got 10% deductible on wind. And if you have $8 million loss,
We're paying for it ourselves anyway.
you're paying 100% of it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's the way, I mean, I think they've got it figured out where we never collect ever, but we pay in.
Yeah,
Do
more.
we have a history of what we've actually paid over the years?
For the insurance,
Not for insurance,
no,
an actual payment,
payout.
costs
Oh,
to us.
Yeah, I can tell you for the 3 storms since I've been here 10 years, we've had 3 storms. We've cost about $190,000.
For 3 together.
Yeah,
So it's
and most of it's been cleanup for trees and debris.
$200,000 for 3 storms.
Yeah.
So it's $65,000-$70,000 a storm. And if we triple that. Where are we? We're $1 million.
So why are we buying any wind insurance?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
Well,
why?
because the documents say we have to.
Yeah, I know, that's right.
Would the documents make us, that's self-insuring. We found that we can't do any self-insurance.
Partial, not total.
Okay.
You know, and I think that should the board consider lowering the deductible, we ought to get an opinion written from the attorney to protect the board.
That's what I'm concerned.
So one of the things you mentioned is if you Because we're all separate buildings,
Yeah.
that the valuation is significantly different. So are the 92 million is based on as if we were one building?
What, the 92 billion, no, the 92 billion, 92 million, the 92 million is based on the cumulative value of the property,
Replacement costs. I think.
replacement cost.
So
From
what it said-
100%.
Yeah, if we got total destruction,
Over
92.
20
Okay, which
buildings.
is so highly unlikely.
Yeah.
unlikely, yeah.
Well, that's the difference. If we were one building,
If we had a storm and did that, the insurance company's not gonna pay off anybody, they're gonna be out of business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so.
we're all gonna be dead too.
Yeah,
so-
yeah, yeah. They're not gonna be here anyway.
Isn't the risk more from tornado than hurricane?
well, the tornado
what-
within the hurricane.
That's
Yeah,
wind
the
damage.
tornado
Yeah.
within the hurricane.
Yeah, wind damage.
Yeah, well, that's the worst part for roofs, you know, no question.
Tornado.
I
Well,
mean,
there was a tornado down in Bay Shore a couple of years ago,
So
so
we had one.
specifically.
We had one in Irma, right out here on the boulevards,
Yeah.
took that banyan tree down. When I heard that, that was spooky.
Oh, boy.
yeah, I've seen that, like, when I managed Perico Bay Club out there, once there's 67 buildings out there, something like that. One building got hit, the roof ripped off, and a path, you could see it where it took the tree out and just came in and went out. It's amazing, that, and it was so particular in what it did, you know, and it didn't touch anything else.
Yeah, when I was in Iowa, the tornado took the roof of the garage next door, but my house was fine. I didn't
It's
lose a
amazing
shingle.
for that. It's amazing that somebody across the street, nothing happened. And one the other side of the street is totally destroyed. So.
So anyway, that meeting on Thursday could impact the budget,
Most likely.
yeah. And so,
Would we be able to get a vote of all the owners before, or is that gonna be something that
How do we
we
need one?
have in
Wait.
March and go to the next year
well,
Why would we need an owner's vote? What do you mean?
to lower that insurance cover?
I don't think we need an owner's vote for that. If the attorney says that we're buying wind coverage and we can allow the value we want, because he reads our documents like we do, then I don't think you need an owner vote.
Well, I think
If he said the only way you can do it is with an owner's vote, then of course we'd have to have it, because my prime, number one, we want to protect the property.
Sure.
Okay, but number two, I want to protect the board and integrity, you know, so, I think we'd have to go to the attorney if we decide to do it.
I just read the documents. I didn't see anything where you had owners votes for that or anything.
No.
No, I thought it said that we had to insure for full value.
It does, it does. But I mean, if the attorney is saying that, within
also-
reason, then I don't think we need an owner vote. I really don't.
I think there's some in there about poor judgment.
Well, I mean, if we have documented proof that a 1,000-year storm is gonna cost $11 million and we're gonna, you know, I mean, there's a lot of,
It's based on good statistics. I mean, we're always making decisions based on the information we get.
The only way that we can come up with some kind of a decrease in this number, there's nothing else.
Right,
It's
exactly,
blocked
yeah.
every direction we go, so
Right.
it's like saying you're gonna try and make chicken salad out of something, we're not. That
Spam.
isn't chicken. You know, even if we got the insurance guy here, he's not gonna do it.
I was much concerned about the insurance company as the coverage.
oh, yeah.
Mhm.
There's a whole lot of problems.
Replacement value for the roofs is $2 million, so, you know.
No, replacement value for the roof is,
Five
that's for coverage.
Covered.
That is
That's for
for,
painting, that's what.
I mean,
that's
like if
coating, that's
if we-
coating.
if we had to replace,
Yeah.
just the coating.
Yeah, to replace the roof,
At least
5
5
million,
million, at
5
least
million.
5 million, because I remember it's in here somewhere.
Yeah, it's in there.
But 5 million is a lot less than 92 million.
Right, well, it's not, you got the buildings and that stuff too, so.
Yeah,
So,
Well, I think that's the only way we're gonna be able to do it. The only thing we have to do then is find out if we can, if we're covered and if we're meeting the requirements of the rules and regulations.
Right.
is that still considered fully insured, or is this something that you would want to? have
That's
to
why we're
explain to
asking the attorney.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why we're asking the attorney. Yeah, you know,
Because that's one of the key words that most of the owners are familiar with, and so.
Well, banks too, if we were going to get loans and stuff.
That's right, you got mortgages. How's that gonna work?
I have never, well. That's a good question, because all we do is refer them to the insurance company, and the insurance company gives them the statistics or whatever the values we have. And I don't know if you got a $10 million wind policy and the unit has a value of 240,000, is that a problem or not? You know?
But it would still have
John,
importance.
John, may I ask, do you have an idea of how many people have replaced windows and doors with hurricane-proof?
That's a good question, and I certainly could look at it, but I would say, I would think. it'd be,
Half?
Not nearly, no. I
No.
would say more like 100, 110.
Uh-huh.
That's something that I'll look up for, it's easy enough to figure out when you drive around.
Yeah.
You don't have.
No,
the
I
chip.
know that would be protecting our property, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If half the association had windproof doors and windows, there'd be a lot less damage to them with a major storm, is all I'm saying, I mean.
You're right, and the rates get affected per building. In other words, if there's 10 units in a building and 9 have hurricane-proof doors and windows, you don't qualify. All 10 have to have it.
Yeah.
There is that breakout.
I was just curious.
I would say 100 is closer to about a fifth.
Yeah, but when I replaced my windows, the slats were not hurricane proof.
Right,
No, they aren't.
yeah, they're not.
But my.
The sun
I
shades.
couldn't get the extra discount because my rear, the sliding glass doors, that I didn't replace those with hurricane, so.
Okay,
I
well,
mean, I
that's
have-
it. Well,
I
that's
have a
it.
shutter, but it's not
Yeah.
rated to today's standards.
Yeah, no, that's it. The unit, it has to be total.
Yeah,
For the building, it has to be all the units within the building.
okay,
Hurricane
gotcha.
window.
Yeah, cause I did my entire unit, including the back.
That's so expensive. Oh, my
Same
God.
thing.
I figured I'm worth it.
Yeah.
I don't smoke, I don't drink, what else am I gonna spend my money on? So,
What a shame.
but yes. It's not enough even for me to get my personal insurance less, cause it has to be the entire building.
Is there quite a discount when the windows have been changed? I mean, is it like 5% or 2%?
I can find out. I don't know.
Well, I just wonder if that's something we should be looking to as a goal for everybody. If we could
I
change-
think that goal would be one of those dream things.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's a unit owner to
I haven't done
replace
that
them
at all.
with this.
I mean, you could get, you could go on a program and get 557 and you wouldn't qualify.
Oh, geez, well then let's forget.
Yeah.
Just to do the rear sliding glass doors would be $30,000 at least. Yeah,
It's gotta be value for the individual. That's the only reason.
exactly.
I think that's a little high because I know that, what's his name in the corner before he left, to go to North Carolina, Alfredo and Yolanda. I think they spent about 17 in the back of
On
the.
the full?
Yeah.
Not just a window part.
No.
Really?
You know, I think they have.
Because that's the
shutters in
estimate I
back.
can-
No, they put shutters in the back for 17. They didn't change the windows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
changing the windows.
Yeah, oh,
to-
yeah. That is.
But they're
I don't
end
have
units, so
shutters.
they have an extra
All
window
in my windows in
on
for
the wall.
less than.
I quoted $2,500 a window for 3 windows. That was no special, just windows.
Yeah, I think
And
my
I
front
had 3 different
windows,
People.
my front windows, I think they ran about 5,000 altogether.
I love my hurricanes. I sat out there on the lanai and I watched the trees. Of course, the last hurricane, the trees didn't even move, but it was kind of disappointing, all this prep work and nothing happened. But it cuts down on the noise,
Yes, it
and
does.
one time my air conditioner broke and it was broken for 3 days before I realized, hey, it's getting a little warm in here, because it's insulating and it
Yeah.
stayed cold
Yeah.
in the house.
Well, to get back to the
Yeah, budget. Yeah.
vernacular, I guess, the budget is as of, you put it together with a minor modification, due to the diligence of, the treasurer, president, of finding ways of interest. And looks like we'll push $70,000 worth of interest that earned this year or next year. And so that enables us to increase the budget contribution to reserves by $67,000 to be conservative about it. And so that's the first appreciable increase in funding reserves in a long time. The operating expenses have not changed from the last conversation we had. So if you go to the third sheet, I guess is what you want to look at right now.
The B one?
No, the sheet that says maintenance fee calculation.
Oh, right here, well, the single sheet.
Yeah,
Everybody got them or? do you need-
you should have a single sheet there, John. You have it. Yeah, everybody.
One and none of the other.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what I read back there. Great, we'll pass them around.
Oh, you want them all?
Just two.
I think I just got 2 minutes.
Here.
You got that one?
Yeah, I got that.
Oh, I got that.
Yeah. This one, she had, he had. that.
Yes, I did. Okay, I had an extra.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, if you take the operating budget, the totals $4,216,420. And apply it to the unit owners actually contribute 4,129,788. The extra income is $67,000 from interest earned and other miscellaneous increases in application fees and so the owners really contribute 4.129 of a budget of 4,216. And if the insurance stays at 100% increase, this is what the actual fees will be. And they increase quarterly from a 2,300 goes up to by $288.65, and a 900 goes up by $239.16 per quarter.
Now, that's over 1,000 a year. I think that's the point we got to look at too. I'm seeing people talk about, that's a considerable increase.
It's a considerable increase. However, it's all other expenses, okay? Cable went up roughly $24,500, and all other expenses, not even $7,000, John.
Oh,
Insurance is up $777,000. So if we got fortunate and we're able to cut it to say 50%, we would be saving people almost $1,000.
That would reduce the fees extremely what they are now.
Yeah.
So,
That's the tie-in that you're looking at, quite frankly.
mhm,
So in effect, this is a worst case budget?
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Well, that's all you can give,
yeah.
and you give it to the board, and then the board will
Right.
play with it, up, down, or
Mhm.
say no, put 150% in.
No.
No.
Yeah, so, yeah,
So this number is what, at 100% increase or?
100% insurance,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
It's $1,646,000 premium. That's the number I would use to look at.
Yeah.
It's $1,646,000 premium.
yep. Basically half the budget.
Pretty close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
Pretty
that's
close.
sad, for operating budget that is.
So we can't really recommend from this meeting anything to the board until after the Thursday meeting.
well, this is theoretically your last meeting, but you certainly could schedule another meeting to make a
We'll have to,
recommendation
Right, yeah.
Well, you can recommend a worst case budget to be adjusted basically.
by the board too. You can recommend
But
that.
everything else, is there anything else in here that we question?
You questioned every line item last time.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yep.
So we could put this in with quote a worst case figure, and for every $100,000 of premium or however you want to do it, things go down.
What, so are you saying don't have another meeting, or we need one more
I'm
meeting?
saying it's,
just
I
to-
think the board,
I think it's
The
up to the
board's
board.
gonna
now.
have to deal with this,
The
not
board- the
us.
board's gonna have to
No,
do,
no,
Yeah.
but our role is to present something. to the
I
board.
would present this.
I would present that,
I
yeah.
would present this as the worst case budget.
Okay, but we do need to give the board an alternative based
Do we?
on the Thursday meeting.
Which is that if the premium comes down for every 100,000 or for every whatever, John, Scott's got the number there.
Yeah. Now, what,
Mechanically.
don't
that's-
forget, the meeting Thursday is for the board.
Yes, okay,
You give a finished product to the board of this. And the board, according to what happens Thursday, makes an adjustment.
Yeah.
They don't have to have an alternate because. It's up to them to figure it out what the alternate should be, not necessarily you, because it's the future. You don't
well, I
know. what
thought we
you're gonna
just
do.
ran the numbers based on what the board
Yeah.
wants to do.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I could set up another board, another whole scenario with 50% funding, 75% funding, 125%, because it's all insurance.
Yeah,
Well, that's my point. If we
Yeah.
just give them so much per 100,000 or something like that, or per million of covered, John's got it already. You've got it per unit or something.
Yeah.
You already.
Well, I did it real quick on
Well, we can-
it's
we can
about
make-
$500. For every 25%, we could take off of the insurance premium, will save an owner about $500.
Each owner approximately. So there's your rule of thumb. You can work from there. I
Do you
think
have-
as a board, I'm on the board. I'd be happy to work that way.
Do you have a number, for every 500 we come off, what am I putting out there as a potential loss? I've taken 25% of my roof off. I'm taking my insurance down by $1 million and I'm saving $500. That's the kind of thing that they come
If
up.
I understand it, it shouldn't matter because the deductible is still gonna be,
I see, excellent.
so I mean.
A question that was brought to me, if we put out this worst case scenario and we end up with a number, let's say we put it in for $2 million and only costs $1 million, will that other $1 million be put into reserve for insurance in the next, in our reserves as an insurance item for next year?
It could be. But it
Or
doesn't have
the
to be.
board could have another meeting, like they increased it for $70 for the last couple months.
Mhm.
They could,
Well, we
you
talked
know,
about that,
in
we could
effect-
reduce it,
Or reduce
reduce
it.
it later.
Yeah.
I think it's significant, we should reduce it.
Yeah,
because-
sure,
but
yeah,
you're not gonna
It's a
know
huge
until they
increase.
present the bill in March.
right,
And then they have to have meetings, blah, 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 and then it all reverts back to like what we just dealt with. Where they're only gonna have the last 2 periods in time to do the reduction.
yeah,
So whatever you vote on is gonna be the first 2 payments. And then the
Right.
next 2 payments can be flexible according to what the actual bill in March.
If you recall, you had a meeting this past February when we finally did get the bill and
Right.
decided to raise the rates the last 2 quarters.
Yeah, but it
You could
was,
still have that February meeting
right,
and give money back.
right, yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
At one time
you
we
think we
talked,
can get a 3rd period into there, you mean?
Yeah.
Cause we had to have a notice,
Oh,
of
it
a
is.
month, and we had to do a notice for. a
Oh, yeah,
month,
it's,
and-
no, it's.
It was a
it's-
procedure.
There's a lot of paperwork, unfortunately, because of what the statute reads. Because you gotta give a 2-week notice on changes, and even when you're reducing it, you gotta do it.
at
Okay.
one time we talked about changing our fiscal year around to January through December.
We have one, that's what it is.
And well, then I think we've got everything we can do. Yeah, we've got it.
We are currently running
Here's the thought I was thinking about is that if this plan on Thursday goes into effect, then we may not, have enough time to, to do it. Could you like say, okay, we'll pay for 1 quarter. This old insurance company, then put a new insurance company starting in the middle of June or something like that. I don't know. I mean,
Well, I just had a thought too, not to change that subject, but if you have a $92 million wind policy. And you have 10% deductible.
Right.
That means you're gonna pay the first $9.2 million.
that's what I'm saying, yeah,
Now, wait a minute now, hear me out. If we buy a $10 million policy,
yeah, you could
All
get it, you would only have.
we
to
don't, we reduce our deductible down to 1 million.
pay- Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I thought
Yes,
about
that's
that.
crazy, but
I thought about that too, yeah.
you know,
We made money on it.
yeah, well, I mean, you would, if you got covered for a storm of 8 million, you'd get 7 million back. But if you bought 92 and you got an $8 million loss,
Yeah,
it's all out of your pocket.
Could we stair step it?
Well, that's what's going on.
That's
Ask
what-
Friday.
that's what
I mean,
this-
Thursday, that's what Thursday's all about. What we got, what Steve and I heard last year was he kind of tossed it out there. And we said, all right, what would 50% of wind be? And it wasn't an appreciable amount. To get anything down to really reduce the rates, you have to go much lower than 50% value. But we'll let him tell us that.
Yeah.
And I did meet with another agent, Pat, last week or week before last. And they have some possibly other markets. And so we're gonna look at that too, with that in mind. And because as Mark brought up, ACIC is a scary place to put your money in. Because their parent company has already gone under and moved all the assets to ACIC.
So how, I know this is not the insurance meeting, but how will we get the current agent to look at the other markets? If it's the
Well,
other agent?
Here's what you want to do. You got to be careful how you do it, Mark, because each one, underwriters will only give one quote to one person. In other words, if you two are competitive, yeah, they won't, unless you have an AOR, which is an agent of record letter, they will not give you a quote.
Okay,
So right now, Joe Thompson from Gulfside has an AOR for this association. But we could give him his AOR for ACIC and give another agent
for another company.
for another company. And it's the first time that anybody has said there may be another market out there. Joe has never said that, not that he hasn't, but I don't know. So, I mean, we haven't been able to get any competition going because of this AOR situation.
So now can we do that?
Well, I'm gonna find out more. I'm gonna contact this agent after Thursday. I mean, after Thursday, we may like everything he has to say and stick
Okay.
with him.
Okay,
But we might want to look out the other avenue for any other marketplace with this other guy. So we've got a potential choice for change.
okay.
The way I feel about it, John, is we should buy as little as possible and keep us legal. The chances of us collecting, like you said, the last 3 storms, we didn't collect anything. The chances are you're not going to. We're just paying money just for the privilege of operating.
Yeah.
We're not buying anything. We're being forced to have insurance.
You're right on
You're right,
target,
you're right,
George.
you're
I
right,
think
yeah.
everybody agrees with you.
Wow.
You spend as little as possible and keep legal. That's all. And then we'll have to eat our losses like we've been doing.
Yeah, we do anyway. Right.
Exactly. And if there was like someone else said, if there was a big loss, they're going to disappear. They're not going to take care of you.
But yeah,
Well, yeah, the main problem is that probably everybody around us is insured by the same people.
Exactly.
probably,
And
yeah.
they're all, and
All right, yeah.
Joe Thompson indicated to me that, and this we'll find out Thursday, that there's a rather sizable claim against ACIC from in Northport from the last storm, not, I guess Ian, that they're having trouble collecting
Yeah.
right now.
Well,
So what does that tell us?
They're all in the same club.
We need several agents of record is what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
well,
They're in the same club, George, you're right. And that's a high price club.
Yep. And it's a shame, because they could actually give the people a decent product and still make a lot of profit. It's just that they're pretty greedy.
Well, that article that Chris showed us, that sent to me, and I think we've talked about it before, but said that if the plan that was proposed by these Tampa businessmen was to have the state, all wind policy money go to the state, there would be a $19 billion surplus right now from everything's been paid out.
Right.
So that's what the profits are, gone to private pockets. And the
Right.
agenda, and that issue has never been put on the legislative agenda. Easy for me to speak there.
Well, you now know why, right? You know where the money's going.
oh, yeah.
Unless
Well,
it's-
this American Coastal paid themselves a lot of money and gave themselves a lot of bonuses and stuff and then went out of
Oh, yeah.
business.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I never known a quarter insurance agent.
And, you know, we wouldn't even be able to, hire an attorney to try to fight for our rights because you're not allowed to do that in Florida. You can't sue the insurance company.
You're right. But Mr. Morgan will talk to you.
All right, so
Talk to
you're gonna-
anybody.
Right.
So John, you're gonna reach out to our attorney to just make
Yes.
sure we can look at these other options.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Will we have an answer by Thursday? So that
I would
board
hope
can-
so. Yes. As a matter of fact, I put a call to Dan before I left and he got back to me after I left.
Okay,
All right, so, in terms of that item there, have we pretty much done discussing the operating budget draft, I guess?
I think so.
Is there gonna be a vote Thursday?
No, well, there theoretically could be a vote, but I probably would think that you would have the information, have a discussion, and then have a vote at your regular meeting
In November?
in October. You're gonna have a regular board meeting in October.
And when do we think that's going to be?
We know, it's gonna be a Monday, you know,
Why?
Third Monday.
Following Monday?
the third Monday.
I'm gonna be gone.
He'll be
Yeah.
singing,
Yeah, yeah.
he'll be singing.
2 weeks from today, there's a board meeting.
just so if people show up at the vote, when we're doing the vote, and they're talking about the salary issue, was my analysis valid of the
Yeah, it
salaries?
was
Okay,
very
because
valid.
most of that was not salary increase.
That's right.
Okay.
You're talking
Okay.
about that email?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yes. Well, I didn't, she's saying
Mardell show.
$30,000 in salary increase. That's not actually true. The only salary increase that falls to the bottom line is administration. The other two are paying for themselves. For example, pool guy will get an salary increase, but it's offset by eliminating the contractor and the rental, you know, so.
Yeah, yeah. It's like in anything, other document, you have to look at it in total.
Yeah.
Versus.
And watch the video,
And
because I remember asking questions on every salary.
she does, that's how she knows everything goes on. She watches the video.
Well, she didn't in this case.
But people see it different ways.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
respond, are you responding to her or she?
No,
does she have to-
I will.
Because I only,
I'm going to. Oh, I do every year. It's
Oh,
almost a template
First
letter.
time I've ever seen it. so-
Yeah. No, it's the first time, I think she sent it to the board. She usually
Such a-
just sends it to me and I answer it.
and the board probably, they don't even know what she's talking about because they don't have.
I don't have the
they're not
budget
looking at
yet.
Yeah. I got it. I got it. Look at
I don't know what they're.
Okay.
I didn't watch the video.
Cheryl Pike, she's been an owner here from forever. And she lives in the 500s and she used to be very, very involved and matter of fact, she almost did the budget for years before I got here. And she was on the budget committee for the first 3 or 4 years I was here. So she's into it,
Okay,
but
well,
it-
and her big beef was she saw all the changes in the salary lines and then she added them up and it came to 30,000.
Got a right to ask
And she
questions.
was, she was
Right.
saying,
yeah.
with,
No.
in spite of the environment and people struggling, no salary increases. We shouldn't be given any salary increases.
So what video does she watch?
Well, we record every meeting, yeah. But
So
we
what
went
did you
through
say?
everything with a fine tooth comb. And using my notes, the only salary increase that's falling to the bottom line is $3,965 for administration. All the other, any
And
other,
I'm assuming that means she's gonna reject her social security increase for next year, because there are no increases.
Yeah, right.
Anybody,
Yeah,
Could be.
could be, I don't know.
All right, just,
Okay.
I guess it would be in order to have a motion to send this budget to the board unless you want to have another meeting.
I move that we send this this budget to the board and label it worst case budget.
And I'll second. I think it's-
good.
What do you want to put?
I wouldn't, that would be needing wood to knock on, because we don't know it's the worst case. I mean, we're budgeting it
Well,
at
that's exactly
100,
right.
Well, no,
Our judgment is it's worst. case budget.
because.
no,
Um,
but you could have
Rich said it could be
125% increase.
150.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, you're jinxing it by
So
calling
what do
it
you want to
that.
call it?
No, just, this
Just
is the
based
budget.
on
and
100% increase in insurance.
That they,
Based
call it
on-
the 100% insurance budget.
Yeah, that's good.
based
Could be
on the
subject
full
to change,
value
yeah.
of
Yeah, could
92
be
million.
subject to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, like base words. But I understand.
The next thing is the reserves, and I've sent a couple notes with the new reserves. I hope you saw the second page because they got too big, but the reserve calculations were increased to 567,432. The owners will still contribute the 500 they've been doing every year, but yeah, on Barbara's estimate, we're going to get close to 70,000, if not that, in interest. So conservatively, I use 67,432 with the following notes. On the next page, you'll see that any interest earned this year is going into the paint balance to offset the increase in paint. Secondarily, we extended the road use for about 1 year.
Okay.
Carport roofs are not as in good shape as we'd hoped, and so I reduced the life of the carport roof for a couple of years, which increased their money coming in. We may have to do a carport roof in a year or two versus 8 or 9 that we thought there. And finally, I talked about the 67,432 in the line items.
John, just a typo on note 2,
Okay,
extended. Just remove the O in extended.
No.
oh, yes.
Like extended, I think that's a nice.
It's like extruded.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
torturous word.
I was here at 5:30 this morning finishing up, and that's the reason.
I can imagine.
So, okay, so I guess we finalized it. Yeah,
What they get.
okay.
John, can I don't know.
Also, on your cover sheet,
Mhm.
your estimated balance is 12/31/2004. Is that
Oh, 12/31.
the heading?
Oh, well,
Here, right here, heading.
Okay, estimated balance yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Oh,
2023.
2023.
Well, it should be 12/31/2024, right?
Not the estimate.
No, that's the balance at the end of this year.
That's the going in
Yeah.
balance.
And
Yeah.
the replacement cost is as of August or October, like
I'm not sure what you
the replacement cost column, that's based on your
Oh, that's,
estimates as
well, you want to put a date in there? Sure.
usually put a date.
Yeah,
there.
okay, we can put a date of September 9/15/23, okay. Or the top actually is
You do have
10-2.
at the top. That's
10-2. I'll, whatever. I do that because I have 4 or 5 budgets in there. If I don't make it, I get confused.
I was gonna say, because if you estimate the balance for 20 years ago, you should have a more distinct number.
Yes. True, that's very true.
All right, so. Any other corrections, comments on the reserves?
I can tell you this, that the board meeting that I went to in Orlando, unfortunately, our buildings there are above 3-story. And just to give you a little feedback on what happens, the community that I'm on the board for has 4 5-story buildings. The reserve study, not the reserve study, the engineering study for the stability and of everything for the foundation and everything like that cost $20,000.
For real?
No, for
Every
4
year.
buildings, but the building is only 10 years old. And the estimate, they want their proposed budget will bring in about an additional $800,000 to cover potential in the future losses and structural defects. I mean, it is crazy what's happening out there, and everybody here, when the tall buildings are going to get impacted. Like, I had no idea how big it would be. Now, I'll tell you something else. I got in the wrong end of the business because the management company for timeshares, they get 10% of the total income.
Wow.
reserves, interest, anything. I figured that our 4 buildings, the management cost is $1.1 million.
Mhm.
No wonder they could take us out for a very nice dinner.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is that the nickel and dime on any kind of damage that they have to fix
Yeah.
themselves. That's on top, that's
Yeah.
on top of the 10%. So that was part of the
Ours
condo
is the 10%.
association figured
No,
back.
but see, what happens is we have 160 units in the 4 buildings. And you can sell them 50 times a year. So you've got 8,400 owners. And each one paying $1,500 in maintenance fees. Take 10% of that. And I should have gotten the timeshare business for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the big business today is getting people out of timeshare.
I know, yeah.
That's a big business.
Anyway, so I thought it'd be interesting to know what's gonna happen around us, like Ironwood and these other places that have these tall buildings
Mhm.
over 3-story. They're
Well,
gonna get hit, they're gonna get whacked, not only for insurance, but they're gonna get whacked for reserves, they're gonna get whacked for engineering studies. It's crazy.
Have we heard anything? I mean, my God, they gotta be doing the same thing we are. I haven't heard any gasps of people dying or fright or anything else.
I don't think it's hit everybody yet.
I see, because I would expect that we would hear a lot of them. I would, from the people I'm talking about. I haven't heard a word from
Well,
them.
the structural integrity studies required by what date?
But that's required by 2025.
So
But
not
the
everybody
smart
is-
people are starting to collect.
But they aren't so smart. They wait till the last minute.
Well, yeah, but the people that are gonna gasp at their increase in cost here better not go and find a 3 or more story condo that's not fully funded, because they're gonna have a rude awakening when that.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think Steve told me, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, that one of the Spring Lake groups had a $2,700 special assessment due in 30 days for their insurance increase.
Well, I feel better.
So everybody's gonna feel it sooner or later.
So do we have a motion on the floor? Do we need a motion?
Well, you should have a motion to accept the reserve calculations for, yeah.
And I'll second.
All right, perfect. All right, we're now to committee comments. Any other comments?
You need a vote? On the motion?
Anybody against either one? Okay.
I just want the T to be crossed and. the
That's
I
right.
dotted.
Any other committee comments? Any owner comment?
Nope.
Okay, any motions for adjournment then?
So moved.
Second.
All right, okay. Yeah, I guess